Hello and welcome to Breaking Late. I'm your host, Michael, and with me is JD. How did you enjoy Bathurst, mate?
Well, what a weekend, mate. It was pretty good. A lot of stuff happening there at the end of the race, which was a bit of a surprise, for a fairly sprint race. I think it was 90th lap, and we hadn't seen a safety car, and all of a sudden it just blew right open at the end there. So it was enjoyable. Great weekend.
Oh, it was. And then to have the F1, unfortunately, we need to have a chat with Cams and the FIA.
Yeah, that was a bit silly.
Yeah. We used to the F1 starting, the V8 supercars. First, why do they start late? Did you know?
I can only assume Fox was putting weight on them to make it a more viewable time instead of starting it at, I guess if they start at normal time, it's probably like 6 o'clock Perth time. Yeah. So they probably wanted it as
Perth must be used to never watching anything at nice time.
It's true.
It's good when they got the cricket.
It is.
Because
come
home from work and you're like, oh, look, the morning session's still on.
Great weekend. And, it was a bit of a pain. We had to watch the F1 after it had been reloaded and everything. So,
but still got to see it. It was still a great race.
The Formula One as well as
both.
Bathurst. Yeah, they were both pretty good races. Shame Ricardo, couldn't step it up and get in the podium again, but he's had a great run really. And
he did. His car just didn't have the pace this weekend. It was
I don't think they had it there really. So that's about it for F1. Really, he just didn't have the pace there. So.
That's it. Yep. We're done.
That's it. That's my
We're a minute into the show and we're done with F1.
Yep. F1's done.
That's it.
There's plenty of stuff to talk about.
Let's go to the race that took ages. Oh, should we start? Yeah, we'll start at the race and then we'll go to the news because the news we don't have any news. Most of the news we're going to have is probably.
There's a lot of race.
Race. Which is basically
news.
What we try and do anyway.
Yeah. Bathurst went off to a very quick start.
Great start. We had 92 or 90, I think 92. 92 laps.
Yeah, it was in the 90s.
It was about 92 laps in before we had our first safety car.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. Like, we kept talking about it. And I said to you boys, I'm like, geez, this race is going so quick. They're like, oh, we've been watching it for like 3 hours already. I'm like, oh.
We're like...
it's disappearing.
4 hours or 3 hours in before the first safety car. But, God, one thing about this green running... It did show you how quick and how dominant the 888s were.
Yeah.
They were pulling gaps and just...
Yeah, well, even every time after a safety car, Jamie just had the pace to just pull away.
Yeah. No drama. Just managed to call. It was probably a bit irresponsible of him just doing record laps after record laps.
Burning through fuel, yeah.
I mean,
it probably was, yes. But I guess if he was making up enough time in those laps to... offset the fuel that he was burning extra and stuff like that, probably not too bad. But
still, that was impressive. That's record lap after record lap.
Very impressive. His concentration level must have been right up there that whole time. He wasn't cruising. He was pushing it. And, unbelievable. It's a shame what happened in the end to sort of mar the race. But, yeah, great race that was.
Yeah, well, one of the drivers that did really well at the start, and it was so unfortunate to what happened to them, was Ash Walsh and Tim Slade.
Oh, yeah. They were running in second for a long time. And
that pit stop.
Look, and we were talking about it at the time, and the truth come out, like Slade come out and said what actually happened. Yeah, the car controller basically thought he got the nod from the guys doing the pads that both sides were done, and he told Slady to pump the brakes. So he's gone for the pump, and it's just pumped the right-hand front calipers, pistons straight out onto the disc, and brake fluid everywhere, fire. Took him a little bit to get the pistons back in. And
it was not good. It was unfortunate. They did recover quite well.
Yeah, I'm not sure actually where they finished in the end, but
they finished,
they managed
seventh?
they managed to do a really good, quick job of getting that car back out on track. They just popped those pistons straight back in and then bled the caliper up, whacked the wheel on, and away they sent it. So
that was one of the bigger upsets of this race, I believe. For me, personally, I was more...
It's the first... Oh, no,
it was the first big one, but it was one that I was... Lowndesy and Richards.
That was probably the biggest upset at the start.
Yeah. But they were moving their way up through the field, but with Slady and Ash, they were up there. They were already in second. All the hard work had been done, and he was staying with them. He wasn't like falling back or anything.
Yeah, they were both driving really well. There was a few that sort of come through the field there that did a really good job. Coulthard and Luke Yulden did a great job as well. I was really impressed with them. Obviously, you can't go past Nick Percat. What a drive. LDM did excellent effort.
These big races.
Yeah, that's 2 big races this year. Like, fair enough, they won one, and with a bit of luck with rain. This was no luck.
No, this was...
Well,
it's a little bit like you got to stay out of trouble, but that's all racing is.
And McConville to come back and get in a car and be competitive this quickly. Like, obviously, he's probably not the fastest co-driver out there, but he did exactly what he needed to do. He gave Nick a straight car in good position, and you finished it off, mate, and he
did a great job.
Yeah.
And I was like, well done, because, like, Lucas Dumbrell Motorsport, they need these.
Yeah.
Small teams, like, doing...
Well, talking other small teams is... You can't go past Jono Webb's team, Techno. They did a great job as well. That was unbelievable. Like
I said to you during the race, just after the race, and I said to him, if I told you that Jono's going to win a Bathurst, who would his co-driver be? And a couple of years ago, you'd be like, Shane.
Yeah. Yep. I agree.
But for Davo to come out,
and Shane got on the podium as
he's
well,
second.
which is. He's really matured a lot since he's gone to Red Bull. I don't know if
he could have quite easily bended on that last lap. He could have taken out. I think a younger Shane would have taken both of them out.
Yeah.
On a shot, but I mean, like Shane had a championship to think about.
Yeah, I don't know if Shane's one of those drivers that thinks too much while he's doing it. He just reacts. Obviously, there's some part of his brain that sort of goes, "It's not worth the risk versus reward." But
there was that yellow down there. I think if the yellow wasn't there.
I think he would have been pushing for it. But great drive by both of them. They kept it clean. Yeah. All got up on the podium in the end of it.
So we had the Super Girls. Well,
yeah, they did an excellent effort, actually.
Yeah.
Really, really
they
strong
finished 14th.
Yeah. There were a couple laps down, but...
That's one thing I was surprised at. I mean, they weren't off pace the whole time. For a green race, it really showed their lack of pace. But then a lot of teams did. I think everyone from 9th was on the lead lap. Everyone down was...
Yeah, not even the top 10 was on the lead lap. Yeah, and the pace was killer, really. It
wasn't like, you just got to keep pace for like 30 laps and we're going to have a safety car and bunch everyone up. This was 90 laps at flat out pace.
Yeah, exactly. Like the traditional sort of Bathurst where it's like, do 50 laps and you might drop 45 seconds from the lead or a minute from the lead, but once that safety car comes out, you're back in back up behind the leader. Everyone's pit stopped again, and away we go again for another sprint.
Yeah, this is one thing that a lot of teams were commenting on, going, God, we're losing all this time in pit stop, like Kelly Brothers.
The pits were shocking this year.
They were. There were lots of mistakes.
Yeah, unbelievable amount of mistakes. We had a few weird things. Obviously, these things happen, but, things like radios not working. And and that
Rick.
cost them 2 drive-throughs pretty much. I think they did for that. It's just unbelievable stuff.
That was a very careless move that he did to get
and I'm surprised he didn't readdress it himself.
Yeah,
I'm surprised he needed the team to tell him to readdress.
I'm surprised the team thought they had readdress in the pitboard
container of letters. Yeah. So, that's something they're going to have to look at as well, updating their pit boards.
Yeah, because that handwritten thing that they put on there, he would not see that.
You couldn't read it, no.
He would just be like, they're trying to tell me something, but they just put a black square up.
So, not the best weekend for them. Good to see Davo up there again.
Yep.
That team's really pulled it together, actually. They've, 2 meetings in a row, 2 of the biggest races of the year, they've been podiums.
Well,
now they've won Bathurst.
They're now leading the Pertec Endurance Cup.
Yeah, they would be, yeah.
Yeah.
Because he were to get 2nd or 3rd at the Sandown, and then he's gone on to win Bathurst. That's massive for that team.
William Tando basically got taken out. Because he was the only one that would be like in other contention.
Yep. I was really impressed with both the Penske cars. They really showed up.
They did.
Roger Penske turned up on the Saturday, flew in, and
the cars
boss being there must have helped or something, because what'd they get, 5th and
6th overall.
Scotty Pye actually coming up trumps there in the driver combos too, with
Nice.
Tony D'Alberto, which was really strong effort from Penske. It's really good.
It was good to see both the cars in the same colour too.
And I can't wait for next year with Shell. They're good looking cars. There was a bit there where if a few things had have gone their way, they could have won that race as well with Fabian.
Fabian was out in front, especially towards the end, but I think it was just fuel.
Stint, and then there was safety cars and everyone pitted. Yeah, so it basically ruined their chances, but still really solid effort, 5th and 6th. That's you can take a lot out of that.
Tony D'Alberto and both Luke Yilden really impressed me too.
A lot more than I thought they were going to be honest.
Yeah,
I really, no offense to either of those drivers, but I didn't think they were going to be the best co-drivers out there, and they had a great race and kept it clean and were there when it mattered.
Someone that did keep it clean that sort of went unnoticed a lot of the weekend, Cam Waters and Jack LeBrock during the race. They
smashed it in, didn't they? Really?
They finished 4th.
I understand a lot of the other Fords took them. PRA guys took themselves out as well.
Yep.
Frosty, Benningett, and
Frosty just didn't look good this weekend.
And
God, didn't Moster's car be full of gremlins this weekend?
So yeah, it's just not good for them. But no, really strong effort from Cameron Waters and Jack LeBrock.
Tim Slade recovered to 7th, which was really good. So, shall we look into this incident?
Well, yeah, we should probably talk about the biggest incident of the weekend. I think maybe we'll touch on it.
So the biggest incident this weekend is one where I
spilled my beer at that. No.
I was going to say it's when I called the guy when we saw the debris on the track, and they're like, "We're going safety car." And see what you guys. I did a place because it's us and we place bets on the racing. Why not? I had a small spread on the safety cars and it was looking very good. I had anywhere from 1 safety car to 4 safety cars, and I would have got all my money back. And at the one point, it was really looking like it was going to pay off. And then when we saw that debris, I was like, "No, they're going to call safety car." I'm like, "Nah, double yellow flags, quickly run out there." I don't care. It's over a crest.
I was really surprised too.
It's a very fast section of the track.
Oh, and the cars were really spread out at the time. There hadn't been a safety car before it to bunch them all up. So I was really surprised there was a gap. They must have had someone pit because they left it there for a good 4 laps or so, 5 laps.
Well, this is one of the things that we were saying. Like, the V8 supercars, sometimes they let incidents happen, and then they're like, "Oh, we're going to wait ages to call a safety car." And then there was other times where, boom, safety cars called within 2 seconds, and you didn't actually need that.
In my view, they stuffed up there. They either needed to call a safety car or get it off the track straight away. It was luck that no one went for a passing move down the inside there or whatever, pull out behind another car and clip that and maybe smash a radiator or whatever. It was just luck that didn't happen. Yeah. It sat there for too long. It shouldn't have sat there for that long.
No, it was out for long.
If there was a big enough gap in the field, great. If there wasn't, they should have called a safety car. But yeah, that's just my view,
Let's have a look at the big incident that really defined the Bathurst race this year. And that is the one between McLaughlin, Whincup, and Tander.
Yep.
So we'll just load this up. So this coming down Conrod.
In perspective, that's Richard Holway talking to Scott McLaughlin about what's going on here.
Let's go over the crest here.
So just coming up, like,
Crompton sold us the prospect of making it to
Whincup was quick.
He was, and he was all over McLaughlin. McLaughlin squeezed him to the inside.
There.
And then he got into the dirty stuff and then couldn't pull it up, and he basically touched on
this. All right.
The more I watch it, the more my opinion
changes.
No, it cements it.
All right. So what your opinion is?
Well, it was a racing incident, really.
Yeah.
Like the bit between Whincup and McLaughlin. McLaughlin did squeeze him right across when they were going into the braking area, and he's got 100% the right to do that. Like he can change he can't change direction, but he can try and block the inside line. And Whincup was already there, so he couldn't close it right off, but he made the angle that Whincup was going to have to come through at very tight. So it was always going to be an issue there. Pinched the rear brakes.
That didn't help.
Slight slide, taps McLaughlin. Not a very hard hit, but enough to shaft McLaughlin off the track. fair enough. Whincup has to readdress that. If you look at this as two issues...
That's what it is. It's 2 points of contact.
Yep.
Two separate issues.
So then Whincup basically pulls off the throttle, goes through the chase slow.
Mm-hmm. And then you can see Tander like ride up on him.
Yeah, and then Tander's basically shuts the gap that he had, which was not a huge gap, but there was probably 5 car lengths in it at least. And as Whincup's like quite slow on racing line, fair enough.
Yeah, can't penalise for that.
Yep. Tander goes up his ass and then goes, he's readdressing, so I'm going to pounce on this moment where Whincup's lifting, McLaughlin's off the track. McLaughlin, I love McLaughlin, but he comes back on the track quite fast.
Too fast.
And Tander does swerve. He jigs to the right to pass Whincup, and they just converge on each other. They're two lines that they're always going to meet.
Yeah.
And, basically, my view is McLaughlin come on the road too fast. Tander probably should have realised McLaughlin was going to come back on the road and maybe gone, that's not where I should put my car, because I'm putting my car in a position where it is going to end in contact.
Mm-hmm.
And Whincup, honestly, this probably will upset a lot of people because a lot of people love to hate Whincup. But
Whincup was an innocent party there.
Whincup, he was being cheeky with where he slowed. He was trying to keep Tander behind him.
Yeah.
He slowed mid-corner, so Tander was behind it. But you can't penalise him for it.
Yeah, I know.
There's nothing there. So we have to penalise Whincup for the not readdressing.
The bump and run.
The bump and run. You have to penalise him for that because he never got the... It's not his... Like, I understand it's not his fault. He didn't get the chance to readdress, but it didn't happen. It didn't happen, so he has to be readdressed. Then you have to look at the next situation. Who's at more fault there? Tander jigging to the right or McLaughlin coming back on the road?
Well, McLaughlin got 25 points because of that.
Yeah, and realistically, you've got to put, I'd say, 75% of the pain
onto McLaughlin.
Yeah, onto McLaughlin.
He did.
You can even hear it. We were listening to the radio afterwards. You can hear him. Actually, we might just play this so you get this. But you can hear him say sorry to the boys that when he goes to ask to come back to the pits.
McLaughlin's off. The redressing's caused that.
Davo did a good job to get through all of that.
Yeah.
Oh, did you hear that?
You're kidding me.
Didn't pick that up.
This will trigger a safety car.
Someone's like...
Very likely a safety car. What a disaster. 11 laps remaining in the great race.
Just be careful, be careful.
And this is a terrible shame. Garth Tander's got damage that will stop that car.
Mate, I couldn't control
it's all over.
That's that point. But how like sad was Tander's car?
Yeah, that he really needs to look at his rear right-hand wheel alignment.
Yeah, man. He's got stance nation.
Yeah, there's a lot of control arm rattling around under there that's not very connected to anything.
I'm surprised you managed to get it back into the pits.
Yeah, same.
It was like
something for those drive shafts. It took a pretty heavy hit and didn't break it.
Yeah. And yeah, so in there you can hear McLaughlin apologise to the guys. You can also hear one of the dudes, I think, in HRT say, for fuck's sake, which I didn't pick up on the telecast.
No, that's true. Yeah, you hear McLaughlin, basically, he says, sorry, I couldn't control it. And it's just, he was eager to get back on track. I think
Understandable.
Pretty much everyone in the field probably could have made that exact mistake.
Yeah.
If Tander wasn't in the mix, McLaughlin would have slid back on the track, would have all been fine, but Tander was in the hole that he was about to try and fill. And
so you're implying that it's Tander's fault?
No, I'm not implying it's Tander's fault. I think Tander, honestly,
I know you're not implying it.
I know, but honestly, I do put some blame on him.
Yeah, he did dart about.
The years that he's been racing, honestly, I would have thought he would have... I know it's in the moment and he was desperate to capitalise on the problem, but I thought he would have been bit more aware of what was about to happen. Like, as in, McLaughlin's about to come on from the right-hand side, so maybe I should wait a little bit. As Whincup goes to the right, I'll dart down the inside.
Like, I'll put this video back up. I'll put it in the show notes for anyone that wants to rewatch it or whatever. I was really surprised on how much Tander was darting around. He goes left, right. He made several attempts to get around him, but nothing.
Yeah, I think he thought Whincup was going to block him. See, I think originally he darts to the right and then goes, nah, he's gonna block me. But Whincup doesn't. He just holds that line.
Yeah.
So yeah, if he hadn't hesitated, he probably would have got through that gap and it would have been fine. But he did hesitate, and proof's in the pudding. They were all binned, and Whincup went on to get a 15-second penalty, and it decided the race. And honestly, it's big championship implications. If he had won that race, 300 points, and I'm not sure what he took away from the weekend, but it's a lot less than 300 with the 15-second penalty.
Oh, yeah.
And in my view,
down to 15.
That's wrong. The readdress thing was discussed that if you didn't readdress, you're going to get a 10-point penalty.
Mm-hmm. He would take that.
10 points. So I'm not sure what they took away from the weekend, but 10 points off 300, my math still says 290 points, which is a pretty good haul from one weekend.
Oh, yeah. So Jamie finished with, where was he? Down 11th. 144 points he took away from this weekend.
So there you go. 144 points versus 290.
Yeah.
That's a big swing. A really damaging swing there. So
he also was pretty lucky.
What is the championship actually at the moment?
Drive out of that collision.
He was, because he got hit by a tender, actually.
Yeah, smashed straight in the back. But
So he's 140 points, essentially, behind Shane now.
Mm-hmm. He would have been 10 points ahead.
Yep. Massive. That's huge.
You can see it. Who do you reckon raised the protest? Do you reckon Jamie wanted that reason, or do you reckon that's Red Bull, Roland Dane?
Yeah, not at all. I think Red Bull.
Do you think it's got a chance?
Yep.
You do?
Yep.
Yeah, I can when I saw that they lodged the protest, and at work we got a couple of guys there that are Ford guys, and I'm a T8 M8 member, so I drink coffee every morning out of my Red Bull cup, and Monday morning was hard to be a Red Bull supporter. When even I had other delivery drivers showing up, and they'd just be like, mate, he fucked up. That's his fault. And you're like, and he's like, and I can't believe they're protesting it. Rah, 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 Red Bull, just crack the shits if it doesn't go their way. I'm like, don't blame me. It's like...
To be honest,
they do make themselves hard to like sometimes.
Yeah, but like what Jamie said in the advertising last year, tall poppy syndrome's very... very alive and well in Australia.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Jamie doesn't do himself any favours. He's not a funnier, sort of more likeable guy like Craig Lowndes. I think Craig Lowndes could have gone away with all these wins and stuff and still come out smelling like roses, where Jamie doesn't quite get that. He's one of the best drivers we've ever seen from Australia. He's
probably one of the best drivers we probably could ever see, to be honest. I still... keep going back to those record laps that he was putting in. That pace was unbelievable.
Yep, and unrelenting. It was just one lap after the other.
Must have been if that lap. Imagine if that race stayed green. It would have been soul crushing the lead that he could have put on everyone.
Yeah. Yep.
And it really did become.
People would have been lucky to be on the same lap as him.
Yeah.
They were as bad as it is.
Did you see that Whincup actually got fined $500?
Yes.
For not wearing his suit.
Yep.
And the Supergirls got fined $5,000 for not bringing their
transporter,
Audi branded transporter to the transporter parade.
Yep.
Do you think the V8 supercars need to just chillax and just...
Well, they're revenue raising.
Yeah.
It's like all the speed cameras, isn't it?
Oh,
isn't that what everyone says? Revenue raising?
Speed cameras there to save your life. Slow down, stay safe. But, okay, I can kind of understand maybe Whincups. You're meant to be wearing your race gear pre-race, doing media things. Anyway, it's not like he's wearing Quicksilver shirt or something. He's probably still wearing his Red Bull getup.
Yeah, I don't know. Obviously they get sat down and talk about all of this, and you have to be there in your race suit, yada yada yada. But it was a bit weird. That
one, yeah. But the girls, well, Nissan Motorsport anyway.
That one girls was just
that's stupid.
Yeah. They didn't. Look, they can't. They weren't going to take a lone transporter, because that's all it is. It's not their transporter.
Also an Audi one.
Yeah.
GT race.
They're not going to re-sticker that for the one meeting. So, I think it was silly.
Well, considering they didn't need to do it for the last round.
Yeah, common sense will prevail, but it's not at the moment.
It's $5,000.
It is $5,000 in a organisation which probably just spent, I don't know, $300,000 to $400,000.
You reckon Renee Gracie got paid more than $5,000 to race that race?
I don't know, actually. To be honest, I don't know whether she would have got paid much at all.
You reckon she would have got paid, or just here you go?
Yeah, promotion? I don't know. I think it.
If anyone knows Renee,
yeah, just dial in. You don't have to give us a figure.
Yeah, just like yes, I got paid. No, I didn't get paid.
Yeah, let us know. Yeah, I honestly don't know. I don't know. You'd do it, wouldn't you? For no money.
Yeah, but I'm not a driver. If someone came to me like, mate, you get to drive, we're going to pay for everything.
Honestly, I don't know Renee at all, and if you're an up-and-coming driver, you'd probably take it for no money.
Oh, yeah.
If someone's happy for you to race, and
she was already racing there anyway.
Yeah,
she's Dunlop.
Well, did she race? I don't think she raced in Dunlop. And there's big controversy basically happening right now because she's left Paul Dumbrell, not Paul Dumbrell, sorry, Paul Morris.
Yeah.
So he's the one that preps her car, but she's not going to race for him for the rest of the year.
Who's she racing for?
I don't know. It hasn't been announced.
Who leaves halfway through a season? I know Chelsea did. She had to move.
I actually kind of wonder whether there's no Nissans in the Dunlop series.
No.
They're allowed to run those cars now.
No. Chelsea can go Nissan. I think Chelsea's great. Really unfortunate about a pit stop with the penalty with spinning the wheels.
Yeah.
But not Renee.
Well, I don't know.
Hashtag no more Renee. Hashtag more Chelsea.
So, yeah, I don't know what's going on there, but yeah. Anyway, that was a bit off topic.
That doesn't matter. Where do you think Simona's going to go? She's still saying like, I'm weighing up my options. Nissan. You don't drive a Nissan for 161 laps just to be like, I want to go with the Ford.
Yeah,
I don't think she'll have an offer from Ford.
I think it'll be with Nissan, but unless LDM or someone, Erebus or someone's, they've all got. See, Nissan have dramas with the fact they've got drivers there that already either own the team or pay to be in the team.
Dale Wood can go. They don't need Dale Wood anymore. They've got Simona and a Harvey Norman money.
Well, this is true. That's true.
So, goodbye, Dale. You can go.
Dale could probably end up in maybe an Erebus. Dale
could end up like
unemployed.
Very good chance. Sorry, Dale. He
does seem like a funny guy, Dale.
Dale should pick up a microphone, get a TV camera to follow him and go. That's what Dale should do. Dale should be pit lane reporter and get rid of Greg Rust.
Yeah, agreed. Nothing against Rusty.
Hashtag no more Rust.
He's a nice guy, but yeah.
Something I really loved this weekend was Larko back on the TV, and he even had his whiteboard at one point.
Yeah, but that wasn't on the one we watched.
It was on before I turned off Channel 10.
Yeah.
I know. Talking about that, I'm not happy with Superview. All right, so this is how I watch my races.
Don't sue
it's not illegal. It's just gone around a few things. Turns out you can get a Superview from V8 Supercars. It's like 39 Australian dollars for a season. But you cannot be in Australia or New Zealand. So it's a little difficult sometimes, but I got, VPNs, they're easy to get, and I went to a couple of countries, and Europe's the best country to go to get the V8 Superview to work. But about 10 laps out, it stopped. Now, I don't know about you, but if I was over in Europe and I was watching this race and this was my only way to watch it, and the stream just cuts out, it's got no more stream.
Oh yeah, I'd lose it.
Oh, yeah. You'd have a very strongly worded fucking email telling you how upset I was.
Yeah, it was quite funny. When it happened, I've got my phone out, got Foxtel going. We're trying to change channel back onto Channel 10. we can't miss a minute. Quick, get back on.
But then Channel 10 did actually play like the last 10 or so laps without an ad.
Yeah, they did.
Because we were like, we'll change. I think we got your stream up. And we're like, we'll change it when we get to an ad, and then the ad.
Yeah, no, it was great. And I got to give it 10 out of 10. They do a pretty good job of V8s.
Yeah.
If the ads weren't there,
If the ads,
we're spoiled now. See, we used to be used to the ads, but now we watch on Foxtel and
Streams.
Superview and stuff like that. You get spoiled. No ads. It's too good.
But no ads make where ads slow a race down so much. You lose momentum watching it, and the thing I get sick of the same ads.
Yeah, and I get sick of it when they go, we're going to ad break and something's about to happen, and then they go to the ad break anyway.
Yeah.
Fuck your ad break. Something's happening right now. Push your ad break back a minute and a half, and it'll be fine.
No one's going to buy that fucking shit anyway. Just like, we've seen that BCF ad 20 times already. I haven't gone to BCF yet.
Yeah, I'm not leaving my fucking living room right now.
Mind you, I think you've spent a bit of money at BCF before.
Hey, we won't go into that. It's called a fishing addiction.
It's a problem, all right? Trying to stop it. I think we wrapped up V8s enough.
Yeah. My biggest disappointment was Craig didn't get out there and get to boogie with the boys at the end there, but
I would have loved him to win the 10th. And I honestly, I didn't think he could.
Yeah, well, look, their pace was not good all weekend.
All weekend, he was just slow.
They were very much working towards a race car, not a qualifying car, but 21st, that's a long way back. That tells me you haven't got much of a car at all.
Oh, it was just really bad. And unfortunately, the piece that broke was a piece they make.
Yeah.
And out of the 7 cars, that's the first one they've ever broken.
I know, what a race to break that on too. They had done a great job too.
You watch in-car footage.
It gone... sorry.
Nah, Craig started the race.
Craig started, yeah. And they were cutting, like literally passing a person a lap pretty much, if not more. So
they were making it up. They're doing really well. Just, unfortunately about that. But that's racing, and he'll be back.
Yeah. Feel for Scotty too. That would have been a nice send-off to GRM for him. Yeah, it's raining in the studio here.
Yeah, sorry guys. You're going to hear this background noise, but it's fucking pissing down right now, and I can't get rid of it. So you this and the gecko from last week. Just enjoy it.
It adds character.
We don't have a studio.
Do you want to go on to news, Michael, or do you want to talk about F1?
We can talk about some F1 news, but there's not that much.
Well, the big news I was reading about was what's going on at Renault.
Yes, you tried to tell me something about this, and then you're like, no, I'll tell you later. And I'm like, tell me. Okay, tell me now. What's happening at Renault?
The rumours are...
They're leaving.
No. They're going to be there next year. They will be there next year, and in a bigger and better outfit.
Yep.
They think they're going to be more competitive next year. I don't know if they're going to be fighting for the championship, but they will definitely be a faster car. They're not going to be back there with the Saubers and behind... they'll probably be up there with more like the Toro Rosso and that sort of pace car. That's their plan. The big thing coming out of the rumours, but is goodbye Magnussen and Palmer.
Both of them.
Both drivers are going to be dropped by the looks of it, which was really surprising.
Shit, it's really raining.
Yeah, it's pouring.
So both of them are going?
Both of them. Yeah, so it looks like both of them could be gone. And wait till you hear who's one of the main candidates to fill one of those seats.
Vettel.
No, not that exciting.
Okay, who?
It's another fairly good driver from another decent team. Nico Hülkenberg.
Ooh.
Yeah.
He hasn't signed on with Force India.
Well, I think at the start of the silly season, they sort of announced it, but by the sounds of it, Force India like to announce things before they're done.
So, they've done that a few times.
Yeah, so the rumours were they were looking for Perez. Perez signed on with Force India again, and Hülkenberg's contract's not signed.
Oh.
Looks like that he could be going, and this should come out later this week, so it shouldn't be too long after this podcast actually comes out. They're going to make some announcements, but the rumour was basically Hülkenberg would move to Renault.
Mm-hmm.
Then we'll get the second seat is the one that's the big one that's up in the air.
Magnussen.
There's rumours of... No, Magnussen's gone.
Oh, but he was doing really well.
So, but they want a fresh setup. Okay, so there's some big names here, and it's going to blow you out. There's talk, being French manufacturer, they want a French driver.
Prost. No, not old Prost, but Formula E Prost.
No. Thinking Formula E, but...
Is it French?
Yep. Who do you reckon?
Jean-Eric Verne?
Yep. That's one of
Ooh.
the drivers that could be coming. There was rumours that they might try and steal Red Bull's young and up-and-coming driver, Pierre Gasly. And also...
there'll be one Red Bull that... Like, Toro Rosso's still going to have an open seat, aren't they?
Yeah, Toro Rosso will probably have an open seat.
Yeah,
I don't think
Kvyat.
anyone thinks Kvyat's staying.
Nah.
And Ocon is the other one that could be going there. He's already a Renault development driver, but he's a Renault/Mercedes development driver. But the rumours are that Mercedes will let him go. Problem with that is, we're going even further down this rabbit hole now.
Yeah.
Of maybes, a world of maybes, is basically the team boss at the moment wants Ocon to be the next driver in the Renault. The team boss looks like he could be stood aside at the end of the season, and they're going to bring in a new team boss. So there goes Ocon's drive.
You know, didn't they only start like a new team this year?
Yeah, well, they brought an old team, but yeah.
A new driver lineup and...
It was, complete new driver lineup. Magnussen didn't have a drive last year.
No, so it turns out
he was a development driver for...
give two guys a crap car that can't perform, get rid of them.
Yeah, it's hard to score points when the card's not in the points.
Yeah.
You got to give it to the two blokes. Honestly, Palmer's looked pretty shit.
If Palmer doesn't get another seat this year, I'm like, well, you didn't
Probably
look like
didn't
you deserve it.
Unfortunately, giving him a really hard car to drive, shitty engine. The engine's getting there now, but look, he hasn't done himself any favours with results.
Magnussen outperformed him by miles.
Yeah, pretty much. So Magnussen's done quite a good job, and I feel for Magnussen, he's done pretty much everything he could with the car.
Because he sort of got the boot from McLaren, eh? He's like, gone.
Well, McLaren, because McLaren had two great drivers coming through the ranks. They had Stoffel Van Dorn, and Stoffel's going to be driving next year.
Yeah.
But you couldn't have two of them. And I think they were always going to choose Stoffel over Magnussen. So Magnussen had no drive.
A chance.
They did. And then Alonso come up and they wanted Alonso, so Magnussen got stood down.
I don't know if that was the smartest move. I mean, Alonso, he's a great name. He gets...
Well, what they were looking for when they started this Honda project was...
I guess you can market Alonso. I mean, they got no sponsors anyway.
Yeah, a competitive... They want... Oh, it's not just that. They wanted two good drivers that could give them really good feedback to develop the car faster.
Yeah.
So that was the idea behind getting two world champions, or ex-world champions, to go to the team and help steer the ship. Whether it's helped or not, I don't know. But it definitely made for some tense scenes last year.
Didn't have a great race.
No, Button's struggling a little bit. He hasn't got any of the upgrades on his car either.
Oh,
so Alonso's got a new floor that they run in Japan, which bamboozles me actually, because McLaren come out and they've said basically the new floor doesn't give you any time benefit. Okay,
but Alonso's quicker.
Okay. So what does it do? Oh, it makes the car more stable through corners.
Oh, that won't
so
help
that doesn't
you
give you any time benefit when the car's more stable and more predictable, so you can push harder.
No.
So anyway, they said it gave
you want an unstable car like the Volvo.
Yeah, exactly. And so that gave them no performance benefit, apparently. Anyway, I think it probably did. Otherwise, I wouldn't be running it. Yeah. Then there was the engine upgrade. Button still hasn't got the new Honda engine.
That's not right.
So Alonso's been running. He's run this new Honda engine in Japan, and that's got a power upgrade.
Oh, so wait, when does Button get one next race? Like,
I think Button will get one
next race.
Yeah, next race.
Oh well, that's one engine. You can't get all of it done.
Oh, exactly.
As long as he's not like been the last three rounds.
I think I don't think Button has a problem with it. Alonso's the number one driver at the moment for them. Yeah. That's their development driver. Obviously, Alonso's staying in the team. They're investing in him. And that's fine. I don't think Button worries too much about it, but it's a bit of a shame. It's a bit of a backstory for you there. Oh. And then you go into Red Bull. We've also got similar problems happening there with Ricciardo and Verstappen. Now 2 meetings in a row, Ricciardo's had a lack of straight line speed, and it was drastically bad at this meeting.
Ricciardo was slow.
Yeah, really slow in a straight line. So he didn't. It was quite interesting actually watching it, and I was a bit worried about what the fans would say and stuff like that. I read up a bit in the social media of all their comments about it.
Gotta love comments
Everyone
online.
was really supportive. Yeah, I
Really?
thought him
That doesn't
complaining.
sound like online comments.
Yeah, I thought him complaining was like, oh, he's just put a target on his back. They're all gonna be after him. But no, they're like, oh, geez, if Ricciardo says it, that man speaks the truth. He never bullshits.
He does shoeies.
Yeah, and but they basically said he doesn't bullshit. If he says he's down a straight line speed, which
he was.
He was down a straight line speed. They need to do something about it. They think he was down at least over 1/10 of a second a lap on just straight line speed, but he would have been losing bleeding speed everywhere where he was under full power. So that's just on the 2 straights is 1/10.
Oh, he was getting past like he was standing still.
Yeah, so
it was so bad.
that was something
I'm
to
just
come out
having
of
a look here. Like, yeah, Hulkenberg closes on Renault's switch, and
oh, yeah, you found some of it. Have you?
yeah, I found some other stuff, and
Yeah, so
up here where it's like this article makes way more sense now. Nico Hulkenberg wants Sergio Perez to stay at Force India.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, it's so that was another thing to come out of the weekend. Ricciardo will have a new motor, but so will Verstappen for Austin.
Mm-hmm.
So he should be back up to pace again.
Ricciardo's start was very much compromised because of that Mercedes that didn't want to go anywhere at the start.
Yeah, and wet.
Yeah.
Their side of the track was wet.
Apparently,
he broke into
from
big
what I was
wheel
reading,
spin.
was there some drama about Hamilton's pit box? Like, well, not pit box, but grid position. Apparently, the marshals were like sweeping it or saying, but the rules state you're not allowed to actually manipulate the grip.
Yeah,
There was something there.
I don't know about that particular bit, but I know that he had water in his grid box. I don't know whether it was swept
I wasn't sure. Like, my stream starts halfway through just at the start, and they were saying that the marshals were sweeping his grid box out with the broom.
Yeah.
And then Ferrari saw that and were like, hell no, you cannot do that. Like, and then I think they got let off or something. There was no penalty because it wasn't like the team, and it wasn't like Hamilton said to the marshals.
Didn't ask for it.
Like, we do this.
Bad weekend for Hamilton.
Horrible.
2 in a row
weekend.
now, and championship's pretty much done and dusted. I think there's 30-something points in between them now. So it's without a DNF, it's going to be hard to beat Rosberg now.
How many motors has Rosberg got left?
1, I think. 1. He's going on to his 5th and last motor, I think, as well, like the Red Bulls.
This was race 17 out of 21, I think.
Yep. So even if he has a DNF, if he wins the other races, he's still going to be well and truly in the run for the championship. Yeah. Never know, things can happen. Everyone was discounting Rosberg after the break, and
he's come back really strong.
He has.
This is something that you probably haven't seen before. Is rare footage of Max Verstappen leaving the door open for another driver.
It's funny.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a good one.
He wouldn't do that. I'll link that in the show notes.
What did you think of the Verstappen and jumping off news for a second and back into the race? What did you think about Verstappen blocking Hamilton?
The last lap?
Yeah, the second last lap or last lap.
I watched it.
Do you think it was on, or do you think it was aggressive? Too aggressive? Was it good or bad?
It was good racing. It looked good. I didn't pick. When I watched it, I was like, oh yeah, like Hamilton having to go around the outside thing. I thought, he's all in his right. He's the way he drives now. Being this aggressive doesn't surprise me. I'm like, well, when you're taking Max, at least at the moment, I haven't seen Max take out very many people. So he's still been pretty good. Like, he's very aggressive, but it's not like every time he's blocking, he's making contact with another driver.
Yeah.
And I think Lewis Hamilton would have done the exact same thing. So they're two very aggressive drivers. Good racing, that's all I say.
Yeah, I think what you said there is pretty true as well. I think that's why when Mercedes put the protest in, Hamilton actually asked them to bring it back. He's the reason the protest never went through. I still think we're waiting for a big crash.
Oh, it's coming, but at the moment, it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, he's just he definitely pushes the limits for blocking. That one was very close. He was in the braking area and he changed direction.
Yeah.
All he's going to do is he's going to come across a very committed car and do that exact same thing, and they're not going to be able to change direction.
No.
They're just going to lock both fronts and plow into him.
Yeah.
So it will be interesting.
I can see why he did it, and he's
fighting for a podium. Yeah. Like, he had to do something.
You think Rosberg's in there going, go Max.
It's just the last minute thing. Like, I think he could have blocked the inside line early and Hamilton wouldn't have gone for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he knew he would have moved
very late.
Hamilton wouldn't have gone around the outside of him because he knows that Max would have just driven him off the track.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But
one of the passes of the race that I really liked was, I think it was Raikkonen on one of the Force Indias, I think, and then there was... All I know is there was 4 cars pretty much going side by side down the track because Hamilton's just pulled out of the pits.
Yeah, that was unbelievable and scary at the same time.
It was fantastic. I loved it. I was like, that's the only note I really wrote down from the race going, I have to rewatch. Basically, it was for me anyway, just going, rewatch that pass. It was great.
Yep. He got 2 cars in one position and one spot, and then Hamilton come out of the pits in front of him. I don't know if he would have thought in his head whether he was thinking, geez, I should let
I think
off
he
here.
would be like, all right, careful cars will be coming on the straight, but not careful cars are going to jump into the pit exit lane.
Yeah, so it was all right because Hamilton was such a distance ahead of them that it was not a problem. But
I think Kimi wouldn't have dived in there if the car was coming out.
Yeah, it looked impressive, but it
looked
really
great.
did.
It was good racing. And there was lots of good passes on the track, actually.
For a track that you so-called cannot pass on, there was so much passing on the weekend. It was unbelievable. And in places where I don't think they've seen much passing before. And all this talk about F1, we need to change F1 because passing needs to be better and yada, yada, yada. The racing this year has been pretty good.
Yeah.
We just need to get the teams closer together.
Like V8s need to... We want... Yeah, can you imagine like I mean, you can't because cars can't drive as close as they can as they do on the V8s. But... F1 with a parity like V8s?
Well, V8s is,
completely different kettle of fish.
Yeah.
But
honestly, V8s is one of the best racing categories in the world right now for that reason. Like
you don't know who's going to win.
Who could have won that race?
I didn't put any money on Davo.
20-something people could have won that race. I put money on Davo to get a podium.
Nice.
I was lucky because that won all my money back that I lost. I put $3 on him to get a podium, and I won like $26 or something.
Far out, that's not bad.
Yeah, I know, but imagine how much would have paid for a win.
Yeah, well, if the drivers didn't get so bloody tired, because here's what I put it down to. I reckon by the end of the race, the drivers are a lot more tired.
Oh, of course.
And they're making mistakes. Because you look, we went 96 laps, or 92 laps, without a safety car. And then in the last bloody 70,
I think there's a few
6 or 7 safety cars.
I think there's a few things there too. So the racing line becomes more defined. So for the passing moves, it's harder offline because there's a lot more marbles and stuff that will stick on their tyres and make them lock up. Obviously, the drivers are tired. Their concentration levels must drop massively. And
it's a long day.
It is a long day. Like, we even think driving 1,000 Ks and not a race car is pretty taxing on your concentration. And the cars, like your brake pedals are getting longer and all these things. Like, you think about, like, at a normal meeting, they go out and do qualifying. They bring the car back in. They'll bleed all the brakes. They'll do all these other things to make sure it's got a good pedal for the race. Yeah. They've just done 1,000 kilometers, and all they've done is keep changing front pads.
Talking about changing front pads.
Oh, it was like
how many
going out of fashion, wasn't it?
I've never seen so many pads get changed.
Yeah, it was all down to that new caliper design that they were running this year. But
does it just make it easier to change pads and it's more worthwhile?
Well, that was the argument, because basically they've machined the bridge out of the center of the caliper, which strengthens the caliper from warping, so that the pads are easier to install and remove. The problem with that is you've now made the caliper weaker, so the caliper now flexes a lot when it pushes the pads under the disc, and the pads do not wear flat. So they're changing the pads twice as often as they normally would. So the gain they've got out of making it easier.
And you were saying on the weekend, it's not like they're using cheap pads.
No, they're probably $1,000 or more a set.
And they were changing them like they're going out of fashion.
Some teams I reckon would have changed them 5 or 6 times.
They only did like 9 pit stops.
Yeah. They pretty much every pit stop that they had to stop and fuel the car right up.
Yep.
From low tank.
Fuel tires
which
and
is
pads.
a lot. And maybe that's why we haven't seen it so much in the past, because we get safety cars. It's a quick splash and dash, you know what I mean? They're not, some of them, they don't even want to change driver because they're only literally just putting
as much
30 litres of fuel
the minimum
in
amount of fuel or the maximum you can get in that shorter period of time.
Yeah, so they don't want to sit there and do pad change and lose position. So maybe that's why we haven't seen it in the past and we've really seen it this year. But yeah, it was a big change this year. I don't think I've ever seen, and so many dramas with it as well.
Yeah, that caused a few issues.
All I can ever recall was a pad. Well, all I can recall ever was people maybe had dramas getting the pistons back, but that's all I've ever recalled. People having dramas with pits in the pads.
This being said, is we didn't have any cars with brake failure.
No,
coming
we nearly
into
did,
turn 3. Yeah.
Who was it? Chaz?
Chaz was on the pedal the whole way. Like,
he must have. They must have told him to pump the pedal in the stop.
Surprised he got a stop.
Dead set nearly took him where. Well, he was going quite slow, and he was using the gears a lot to slow him down. It took him, nearly a third of the lap, I reckon, if not longer, to get a good pedal back in the car, so he could go down Conrod and actually have some confidence in the brakes.
He was a car that was very quick, but just like throughout the weekend, but just
just had problems. Steve Owen had a few problems as well with his.
Steve Owen didn't look happy.
No, but he never does. Steve Owen never does. He's one of those straight-faced type of guys.
Do you reckon he feels like he got demoted?
I think he does, I reckon. I think he should have been, no offense to Chaz here, but he's their number 1 co-driver, I would have thought. He should have been with Winterbottom.
So what, this is basically Dean Canto. Does he have a tie-in with Bottle or something?
Well, yeah, I think that's basically what we were thinking.
This is one of our crazy predictions we were...
Yeah, we don't. There's no facts behind this. We don't know, but possibly
we don't need facts to tell the truth.
Yeah, well, maybe we stumble across it by accident. Oh well, but yeah, it is odd.
This one, I'm going to put you on the spot to V8s.
Yep.
Who is your co-driver of Bathurst?
Dumbrell.
He did do everything he needed to. Poor Dumbrell. He puts that car 3 years in a row in a winning position.
Yeah.
Only for WinCup to somehow...
We watched a very funny video just before
I'll link it in the show notes. We won't play it now, but...
Yeah, it's a long video. We can't play it in the podcast, but definitely hit up the show notes and have a look at it. Yes. Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Very much so.
Poor Dumbrell.
You're gonna get the 3-peat poster?
Yeah, it's so sad.
And it's
he did a more convincing job. The last couple of years, Paul Dumbrell's made mistakes.
Yeah,
this year he looked really strong.
Last year we said that's it. Paul Dumbrell's done.
Yep. Then he went and brought like a big partnering share in Red Bull Race and Triple 8 Racing, which probably helps him get a drive. But he did do a great job. He was probably the pick of the co-drivers, really.
Yeah.
Like, everyone else was making mistakes. He didn't really make any. So, yeah, he probably is my co-driver of the Bathurst. What about you, mate? A lot of them flew under the radar.
A lot of them did.
A lot of co-drivers probably need a mention that aren't going to get it. But
yeah, a big shout out to all the co-drivers. There was none that really did. I mean, shit, you'll drive better than us, so well done.
Yeah, no, I don't think any of them did a really bad job.
But I liked Ash Walsh, just for that first stint that he did in that car.
Yeah, he was quick.
He was with the main game, guys.
Yep.
And he just, I don't know, I was really impressed with his driving. He gave that car to Slady in a really good position. Unfortunately, the events unfolded like they did. But they brought that car back to 7th. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it was good. It was a really good effort.
And he was just surprised me from where he was in the series the last couple of years to be there, and this is something that I've said before, and I'll say it again. Some drivers in the main game that just struggle in the main game but make great co-drivers.
Yep.
And hell,
They
you can
can
be
pull it
like
back.
Richards, like Stephen Richards, and make like a good name for yourself and win a shit ton of Bathurst just being a co-driver.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. I think it takes that responsibility for that one lap pace off you. You don't have to have...
You don't need to be the quickest. You need to be consistent.
You don't have to pull it down to the thousandths and the hundredths and maybe even a tenth. You can be a second off pace as long as you're consistently doing that and handing a straight car back to the main car driver. You've done a great job. So, I think good effort.
The pairing that we'll look out for in a couple of years when Lounsey retires.
Ah, yes.
Dunbarrel might need to look for a new...
Yeah, I think that will be a dangerous pairing, honestly. If Jamie stays...
This is wild speculation here.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll go with Shane.
Well,
Won't let
there
Jamie
was the
overtake
talk.
him.
There was talk, actually, just before the weekend. Jamie's contemplating leaving V8 Supercars.
Did read that.
Yeah.
I mean, if he does, I can see why.
Well, he's pretty much done it all.
Yeah. He's like, all right, Lounsey's got a bit more wins than him.
No one else before he retires, but he'll probably have more than Lowndes.
No one else is really that close, I don't know. I don't think. But, yeah, if he leaves, I don't know. He hasn't done much other racing.
No, maybe this is the Bathurst 12 Hours, him dipping his toes in the GT3 category.
I'm interested to see how that goes.
I am too. He's a bloody good driver, so yeah, it'll be really interesting. Yeah, maybe we'll have to look at it.
When we start bringing in millions for our podcast, we'll...
all this advertising we've been doing.
Oh, yeah, mate. We actually... What are we doing this week? This episode, BCF and some gambling sites.
It's a pity that none of them pay.
Nah, we didn't win any money. You got your money back. I didn't, but that's what you gamble for.
Yeah,
Not
too much to. Geez, look at the angle there, all loaded up.
Look at the back wheel. Yeah, I'll put this photo in the show notes. There's a back photo of I don't know who's.
Looks like Rosberg's helmet in that mirror.
Yeah, so it's a back photo of Rosberg's McLaren, Rosberg's Mercedes, and
dropping some news there.
Mate. I'm breaking it. Rosberg's gonna leave and go to McLaren.
I highly doubt that.
Yeah, so do I. No, but he's scraping on the ground. It's got sparks, and that back tire is just loaded.
So, do you think Rosberg's going to be kicking himself that he signed a contract already?
No, I think Rosberg wants to stay with Mercedes. Rosberg's been with Mercedes for
I
ages.
know he wants to stay with Mercedes, but I'd be asking for more money if I'm world champion.
I think he's going to get it. I don't think Rosberg's struggling, and there's still no way he's going to get the money.
Times are tough in Monaco, mate.
I heard he had to share his private plane on the way home.
I know.
And I bet Ricciardo's probably not even paying a bit.
I know. Well, so he shouldn't. He's only getting like £3 million a year.
He's getting nowhere near the money that Rosberg's.
Yeah. Rosberg's getting a lot more. He's getting like 15 or something, but still.
Yeah, Rosberg's won more races.
And Rosberg probably gets win bonus as well, and so does Ricciardo as well. But
yeah, they made
Rosberg did win
talk
like
of that
6 of this year.
Yeah, Rosberg's done very well. He really has. He's impressed me. Let's see how they go in America.
It's very interesting actually to watch the dynamic between Rosberg and Hamilton. When Hamilton's really dominant, Rosberg gets a bit sooky, but Hamilton gets dicky. And when Hamilton's not dominant, he loses that dickiness. He's been a dick in the press lately, but we'll leave that. We won't get into that anyway. But yeah, he's less of a dick to Rosberg, if you know what I mean. Well, looking forward to Austin. Hopefully it's a good race.
Austin will be a good one. And then we've also got Surface Paradise too in 9 days.
Yeah, another good race for the V8s.
So, you're going to...
Predictions?
Let's... do you think Davo's going to get the Pertex Endurance Cup? Because he's quite consistent.
He's consistent.
He's consistently inconsistent sometimes.
Well, he's consistently going to finish in the top 10, I think, unless he gets taken out, which I think will be enough to seal the deal.
Yeah. I think the only other person... Where did Shane finish in Sandown?
I'm not sure, to be honest. Can't
because
remember
he
back that far, you know.
Yeah, I know.
It's like
It's
at
been the
least
last
3 or 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, I can't remember what we did yesterday. I watched a race.
Where did he finish up?
Second.
Ooh.
Okay.
Very interesting.
So, we just checked. Shane Van Gisbergen finished second at Sandown because we can't remember anything.
That
But Jono
is...
got... Will Davison and Jono got third. So...
Are they nearly tied on points?
They would be I reckon he's probably 20 to 40 points higher. So it's either Shane or Will Davison. It's whoever outscores each other.
Their lap counter thing was messed up because they only did 143 laps.
They did because there was that red flag and
stuff.
Yeah,
it was at the start of the race. That's why. Yeah, that's going to be close. So you got to choose between Shane or Will Davison and Jono Wed.
Shane at surface.
Yeah, I agree. I think Shane. It will reward Shane's style of driving.
Yeah, it will. I think nothing
flamboyant
against
curb jumping is right down his.
Yeah, he loves it, eh?
Yeah, that's right down his alley. So yeah, no, I think Shane will win the Endurance Cup.
Yeah, because Shane's a bit more consistent nowadays. He's not very reckless sometimes.
No, he's heaps more consistent these days.
So we've got...
Honestly think he'll win the championship too.
I've got money on him. I hope he does.
There you go.
Well, that's the end of the Bathurst and Suzuka Japanese Grand Prix round. You know where to hit us up by now if you've been listening for all 13 episodes.
Yeah,
14 if you include the pilot. Man, we're smashing through this.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's easy.
It is. Come here, talk for a bit.
Yep.
So, don't forget to hit us up on Facebook. We're breakinglate.com/breaking late. No, I just said the wrong thing. We are facebook.com/breaking late. You can hit us.
Or you just go to Facebook and search Breaking Late and it'll take you to us.
Yeah, but it's most people type faster in the search bar at the top.
Not many people use that in Facebook.
I don't know what you face.
There's a search part in Facebook land for all the Facebook people.
Yeah, but surely it's quicker when you're already going to the top to type Facebook. Just go /breaking late.
Facebook. See, this is what you forget. They're on the app on their phone. They're not typing in a URL. We're going to cut this out anyway.
No, it's not. You guys are doing weird things. All right.
Michael's obviously not a Facebook user,
no,
as everyone can tell. Anyway.
Enjoy your book face. Like us, share us, do whatever you guys do. Poke us, I don't know what. We'll see you guys in a couple of weeks. Peace out.
Later.